परमंश परिव्राजकाचार्य सुतर सदस्यमान भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंड की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। नववेद भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the Lord. All glories to the Lord. All glories to the Lord. Thank you very much.
Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 15th verse. Yam Yam Hinaviyatayam Kyete Purusham Purushashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Savartatvaya Kalpate Yam Hinaviyatayam Kyete Purusham Purushashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Savartatvaya Kalpate.
All mejor entre los hombres Arjuna. La persona que no es disturbado por la felicidad y la angustia. Quien está estable en ambos. Es ciertamente elegible para la liberación.
यम ही न बथंति एते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभा समा दुःख सुखम धीरम स अमृतताय कल्पते. So we have been discussing for the last 4 days about the constitutional position of the soul.
Hemos ido discutiendo recientemente acerca de la posición constitucional del alma.
First thing, we have discussed that the living being, this body is not the living being, but the living being is within the body.
La primera cosa que hemos discutido es que la entidad viviente no es este cuerpo, sino el alma que está dentro de este cuerpo.
Just like the motor car is not the driver.
Exactamente como el automóvil no es la persona que maneja el automóvil.
The driver is within the motor car.
El que maneja está dentro del carro.
Now, the driver or the soul within the body is immortal.
Ahora, el que maneja o el alma dentro del cuerpo es inmortal.
And it is transmigrating from one body to another.
Y él transmigra de un cuerpo a otro.
So, this transmigration from one body to another is not very good business.
Así, esta transmigración de un cuerpo a otro no es un buen negocio.
Just like if you are living in some apartment and you have to change immediately for another, do not get disgusted.
Por ejemplo, si usted vive en un apartamento y inmediatamente tiene que cambiar a otro apartamento, inmediatamente tiene que cambiar a otro apartamento, entonces usted se vuelve muy disgustado.
Naturally, we desire that if I get some permanent apartment, it is very good.
Naturalmente, deseamos que si yo podría alcanzar un apartamento permanente, eso sería muy bueno.
Actually, we want that. Nobody wants to die.
En realidad no queremos, nadie quiere morir.
Even a person or living being in the most wretched condition of life, if you propose that let me kill you, he will not agree.
A una persona en la condición más miserable de la vida, si usted propone que él muera, él no quiere morir, quiere vivir.
Therefore, the psychology is that every living being does not want to die.
Por eso la psicología es que cada entidad viviente no quiere morir.
So, but actually we are not subjected to death or birth, that will be discussed. We have somehow or other, by chance or by coincidence, we have acquired this material body.
Y como hemos discutido, nosotros no estamos sujetos al nacimiento y a la muerte, pero de una manera u otra hemos conseguido este cuerpo material.
Actually, it is not by chance, but we wanted to lord it over the material world. Therefore, we have got this material body.
En realidad no es por accidente, pero queremos enseñorearnos sobre la naturaleza material y de esta manera hemos conseguido este cuerpo material.
So everyone in this material world, either human being or animals or birds and beasts, is trying to be the Lord of the universe.
Por eso todo el mundo en este mundo material, o sea, ser humano o animal o bestia o pájaro, lo que sea, él quiere tratar de ser el Señor de todo el universo.
Therefore, if we actually want relief from this constant change of transmigration, then we must prepare for that.
Por eso, si queremos alivio de este cambio constante de nacimiento y de muerte, tenemos que tratar por eso.
We have already discussed that we can get our next life as we prepare for it.
Ya hemos discutido que podemos conseguir nuestra próxima vida como preparamos por eso.
If I like, I can go to the higher planetary system. If I like, I can go to the lower planetary system. If I like, you can go to the beastly life or godly life as I desire.
Sato vidyate bhavo, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayorapi drishtontas, ubayorapi drishtontas, tvanayos tatvadarshibhi, tvanayos tatvadarshibhi. Translation. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. This seers have concluded by studying the nature of both.
There are two things, Sat and Asat. Sat means which exists, and Asat means which does not exist. Temporarily it appears and again disappears. That is Asat. The example is just like the sky and the cloud. Cloud appears, exists for some time, again disappears. But the sky remains always. This is the distinction between Sat and Asat. Try to understand. Sky, this material sky, this also does not exist. But so far our experience is concerned, we can understand the distinction between Sat and Asat. Permanent and temporary. We cannot say non-existent exactly. Existing, when the cloud comes, it has got some activities. There is rainfall, and on account of rainfall on the ground, there is some new vegetation, new flowers. Everything looks very green. In the rainy season, we get some products. So we cannot say it is false, but we can say it is temporary. Similarly, material world, matter, is not false, but it is non-permanent. Bhutta bhutta praliyate. We'll find it in Bhagavad Gita. The Mahavadi philosopher says, Brahma satta jagat mithya. The spirit is truth, and jagat, this material world, is untrue, mithya, false. We say that everything is emanating from the Supreme. Jato va imani bhutani jayanti. Everything is emanating from Brahma, the Supreme Absolute Truth. So that cannot be false, because Absolute Truth, how from truth false will come? This is our problem. The matter may be temporary, but it is not false. The Vedic injunction is ma asato, ma asato, sadgama. Don't try to be entangled with the asat, sadasat, but try to come to the platform of sat. In the previous verse, jangina vatante te purushang purusarsava. Krishna says, those who are not disturbed by the material changes. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram cha amritataya kalpate. Our mission, human mission, is to come to the platform of amritattva, immortality. We have discussed this point. Amritattva, immortality. The modern civilization, the so-called scientists, philosophers, they cannot imagine even that there is possibility of becoming immortal. They cannot imagine. And their brain is so dull that they cannot think of that we can become immortal. Then how Krishna is speaking about immortality? Is he speaking something nonsense, utopian? No, he is speaking the fact. Otherwise, if Krishna speaks something nonsense, utopian, then nobody would be interested to read Bhagavad Gita. We may be third-class men, that we indulge in Bhagavad Gita and Krishna speaking something utopian nonsense. But there are big acharyas, Ramanujarya, Madhvacharya. Why they are giving attention to the reading of Bhagavad Gita? Krishna does not speak anything nonsense. The fact. So if it is the fact that there is possibility of becoming immortal, that is Sat. So Sat, our business should be to be engaged in the Sat platform, not in the Asat platform. Asat platform, non-permanent, or according to somebody's opinion, false. So false or non-permanent, whatever it may be, the real human civilization should be based on the purpose of becoming immortal, Sat, not Asat. That is the distinction between India and other countries. Now I am not speaking of India of today, but India as it is. Big acharyas, just like Vyasdev. Vyasdev is the original acharya. Therefore, the birthday of Guru is called Vyas Puja. Vyas Puja. Vyas Puja means original Guru. Guru is the representative of Vyasdev. This throne is called Vyasasana, sitting place of Vyasdev. So, one who is a representative of Vyasdev, he can sit on this throne. So, Guru, by parampara system, Guru is seated on the Vyasasana because he is the representative. Just like in the High Court, the bench, it is called bench. Actually, the bench is to be used by the head of the executive power, the king or the president. but the High Court judge is the representative of the head executive. Therefore, he sits on that bench. So, Vyasdev, so learned scholar, everyone knows how great scholar he was. He has written so many books. 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, then Vedanta Sutra, then Upanishad, so many. Recorded, not written, recorded. So, such a big scholar was residing, he was guiding the whole society, but he was living very humbly. Even Chanakya Pandit, he was prime minister, but he was living in a cottage. That is the distinction between Vedic or Indian civilization and the modern civilization. The Indian civilization means they are interested in soul, and others they are interested in asat. Asat means which will not exist. I have already explained. In India, of course, materially, 5,000 years ago, materially also, India was very opulent. 5,000 years. In 500 years or 400 years, India was so opulent that Europeans were attracted to go to India. Even during the time of Mughal Empire, it was so opulent. Those who have gone to India, you will find, if you visit in Delhi, the Red Fort, you will find there are pictures of birds and trees on the wall, and the eyes of the bird is now whole, or some parts, means it was bedecked with jewel. On the wall there was decoration of birds, just like we paint now. There is also paint, but that is not painting, set up with stone, and the eyes and other parts of the bird or trees, flowers, they are bedecked with different types of jewels. Now all these jewels have been taken away when British government was there, and they are now protected in the British Museum. So far I've heard. But the jewels were taken away. That's a fact. Anyone can see that. So, material opulence, and of course, in India, it was not considered to have a big tin car or plastic plates. Material opulence means jewels, gold, silk, butter. That is material. Not plastic pots or plastic bucket, plastic cloth. It has no value. So anyway, India was concerned material opulence, whatever is gotten from the nature, not by industry, not engaging oneself in industry. Therefore, India, the leaders of India now, they are finding that on account of our negligence, to the material side of life, we have become poor. So the purpose is that the East and West difference is that the Eastern people means India, they stressed on this short portion, the permanent portion, spiritual civilization. Their aim was how to make this life perfect so that I can become immortal. As I explained the other day, Oihistang jat punarjanma jayaya, jat tat punarjanma jaya. The whole effort was how to conquer our birth and death. So modern people, they do not understand that birth and death can be conquered. They can imagine it. Sometimes they say that by scientific advancement, someday we shall become immortal. They also expect to become immortal. But expect or not expect, here is the information from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, he is not speaking something nonsense or utopian. It is fact that we should be interested in the permanent life, not temporary life. This life, this material life is temporary. We may live for 10 years or 10 hours. There are living entities, they live for 10 minutes. And there are living entities who are living for 10 millions or 10 billions of years. Just like in the Brahmalok. They live billions of years. So all this duration of life, different types of duration of life are there within this material world. But still, it is not permanent. Even if you live for 10 billions of years, or you live for 10 minutes or 10 seconds, it is non-permanent. That is being explained here. Na asata vidyati bhava. Asata of this material body, it has no endurance. It will not endure. It will not be permanently existing. Na bhava vidyati sataha. And the soul is permanent. It has no change. It will never be non-existent. Krishna is explaining. When Krishna says, my dear Arjun, you, me, and all these kings and soldiers who have assembled here, it is not that we did not exist in the past. So what is that? That means we are not this body. This body was not existing in the past, in my past life or duration of life. But as I am soul, I am existing now. I did exist in the past and I will exist in the future. That is, therefore, spirit has no such change. Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Satasanga chhari koinu asate bilas, te karane lagilo mor karmabandha phas. Karmabandha phas means entangled. Sometimes you have got experience that threads, they become entangled. It is very difficult to find out where the beginning is, sometimes spoiled. So, on account of our attachment to this material body, we are becoming entangled. Satasanga chhari koinu asate bilas. This meeting, as we are holding, this is called satsang. Satsanga because here there is no other business talking or nonsense or material things. here only we talk about the spirit soul, about Krishna, about relationship with Krishna, how to act to satisfy Krishna. This is the business here. That is the difference. Formerly, this place, Manor, was known as Pigos Manor. Now we have named Bhaktivedanta Manor. What is the difference? Formerly it was for sense gratification. Now it is meant for elevating one to the spiritual standard of life. So anything can be changed like that. For satsanga, satsangas mukta dussanga. If you continue sata, as it is said, satsanga, then you advance in spiritual life. And if you associate with asa, then you become degraded. This is the policy. Satasanga chari koinu asate bilas te karane lagilo mor karno. Don't be entangled. Try to become liberated from the entanglement. That is the mission of life. So these things cannot be understood so long we are in the darkness. Darkness means sinful life. The more we are engaged in sinful life, we cannot understand what is satsanga and what is asasanga. So we should be purified. The whole human life is made for purification. Jasma suddhita satya. Satya means existence. Suddhe means becomes purified. Just like a diseased man, contaminated by some disease. The medical treatment means he has to be purified from the contamination. Similarly, we are impure in this material existence by contamination of the three modes of material nature. Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. See, even if we are contaminated by the quality of goodness of this material world, that is also contaminated. That is also cause of our entanglement. Goodness, Brahman, if he thinks that now I have Brahminical qualification, I am now educated, I am very cleansed, I am very controlled, this is a Brahminical qualification, I know what is what, jnanam, vijnanam, but he does not try for becoming immortal, then that kind of thinking is also bondage. That I am this, I am that. Even though he is very learned, satta, sama, dhamma, titikha, suchi, all these good qualities are there. But if he does not try to go further ahead, how to become immortal, so this type of fine entanglement is also entangled. And those who are passionate, they are thinking, I am so rich, I am so powerful, I have got so many nice business, bank balance, I have got my big family, nice wife. These are passion conception of life. So they are certainly bound up. And those who are ignorant, means one does not know what is the value of life. Lying down anywhere, lazy, sleeping, unclean, do not know the value of life, there is ignorance. They are very firmly bound up. So liberation means the more you are enlightened, the value of life, the more, then you become liberated. The more you become liberated, the more you are advanced in your spiritual knowledge, satsang. Therefore, these meetings which we hold every day, they are meant for advancing in spiritual life. Here there is no program how to become very rich, how to possess more motor cars, how to have more bank balance, how to have nice dress. These are material things. Or ignorance, how to sleep 34 hours a day, although you have got 24 hours only. Here we see big men, they sleep after 2 o'clock. Early rising means 2 o'clock. That is also early, but not at day 2 o'clock. At night 2 o'clock, if you rise, that is nice. But they are accustomed to get up 2 o'clock because they think the more we sleep, we enjoy life. Therefore, they are Sunnavadi. They want to become zero, sleeping always. Sunnavad. Make everything zero. That is called Sunnavad. No, that is not life. Sunnavadi is not. Activity is life. Kirtaniya Sadahari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, don't become zero, but be engaged always in chanting Hare Krishna Mahaprabhu. That is Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult. We are not going to be zero. We want to be very active, but active not for sense gratification, but for Krishna's service. You know what is Krishna's service? That we are teaching how to worship Krishna. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Bandhanam Dasam, Sakham Matu Nivedanam. These are 9 kinds of services. They are short. The more you are engaged in these 9 kinds of different occupation of devotional service, the more we are elevated. And the more we are engaged in activities of material sense gratification, we are degraded. Samayeva hi kevalam. You have got nice office, material point of view, nice business. So if you perform that business, office work, your duty very nicely, but you have no Krishna consciousness, Shastra says that samayeva hi kevalam, it is simply wasting time and laboring hard, that's all. Therefore, Krishna said that this is the distinction between Sat and Asat. And we should not be very much interested with the Asat, then our life is spoiled. We should be interested with Sat. That will make our life success. Then we make progress for Amrita. Unfortunately, people at the present moment, they do not know, neither they can imagine even that there is possibility of becoming immortal. This is a very important point. There is not possibility, there is fact. And Krishna, Kirtan is so important. In the Shastra, many places they say, Kirtanadeva Krishnasa, Mukta Sangha Parang Brajet. That Param means spiritual. There are 2 kinds of Para and Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti, Para Prakriti. Aparayam Yam, this material world, is apara, inferior energy. Itastu viddhi me prakritim para. Besides this, there is another prakriti, another nature, which is para. Para means spiritual. So, we should be interested with the para, not with the opera. Why? And that is real life. That is real life. Here it is said, Ubhayaropi, considering both this para and opera, the superior and inferior. Tattvadarshi, who will study Tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi means those who have realized the truth. Tattvadarshi. And you find this word tattva in various places. Tattva. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhai jatatam api siddhyanam kaschid bhektimam tattva. In another place, janma karma medibam jujanati tattva. Tato mang gyatya visati tadanantaram bhaktyamam abhijanati javan jasyami tattva. This word tattva is very important. Tattva means the absolute truth. True. Tattva means true. In the Bhagavad also you find vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam. Tattvavidas. Those who are aware of the truth, they call this tattva. What is that tattva? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdat. The tattva is called sometimes Brahma, sometimes Paramatma, and sometimes Bhagavan. The Bhagavan is the last word of tattva. Therefore, you will find in every stanza, Vyasdev is writing, but he is writing Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Don't think Vyasdev says that although I am writing, I am not the speaker is the Supreme Personality of God. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The authority is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not I. The modern so-called philosophers, scientists, scholars, they say, I think. What is your value? The great personalities, they will not say it like that. Never they will say. Therefore Krishna will say, Tattvadarshi. It has been concluded by higher authorities. He is himself authority. Still, he is not speaking that I say. No. Sometimes he says, Motagamama, that is my opinion. But he is also following the principle, authoritative, Tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi is Ubhayaropi Drishtya Anta. Conclusion. Although Krishna is saying that this is Sat and this is Asat, this is permanent and this is non-permanent, but still he is giving evidence that Tattvadarshi, those who have seen the truth, they have concluded like that. This is means authority. They have concluded like that. Don't think that I am manufacturing something. No, Tattvadarshi. This is the way of understanding. By that Tattvadarshi, we also give reference sometimes in the modern age that such and such professor says such and such. But they are not Tattvadarshi. They are all speculators. They are not Tattvadarshi. But we have to go to the Tattvadarshi. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena shivaya. Upadekshanti tad jnanam jnanina tattvadarshi. So this tattvadarshi, tattva, this word you should learn very nicely. that is authoritative. And others, they are not authoritative. They simply speculation. Speculation means mental platform. It has no value. As this body is also not permanent, the mind is also flickering. Mind is flickering, accepting something and rejecting something. The same thing, now accepted, again rejected. This is mind's business. So, mind cannot be tattvadarshi. Of course, we have to think with mind, but under the direction of authority, then we can reach real tattva. Vadanti tattva vidastatyam jad jnanam adnayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdi. The Bhagavan is the last word of tattva. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So Sarva Lakshmana told that 10 minutes we can take for discussions. So Srila Prabhupada in the beginning of the lecture was giving an analogy to share the difference between Sat and Asat.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said that Sat means which exists forever and Asat means which exists temporarily. So he gave example of sky and cloud. So sky is existing forever and cloud exists for some short span of time. But he also said that sky is not that permanent because in the material world is also non-permanent. But for our point of view, it is Sat.
Ribo. So what is the difference between Mayavadi and our philosophy?
This Mayavadi says that this material world is illusion, but devotee says that this material world is not illusion, but it is false.
False?
Temporary.
Haribo. What is the human mission? Here. Can you help? Someone can.
To become immortal. Amritatvaya kalpata.
Ribo. What was India as it is? What was India as it is? Okay. Yeah.
India as it is people used to strive for Sat, not Asat.
Ribo. For immortality. Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada gave an analogy to share why the spiritual master sits on Vyasasana. So what was the analogy and what was the purport? Yes.
So he gave the example of in court, like the magistrate, he sits on the bench. So he is the representative of the highest authoritative, the president. So similarly, the spiritual master is representative of Vyasdev and he sits on Vyasasana.
Ribo. What is the difference between the Vedic and the modern situation? Vedic and the modern. Behind there.
Vedic civilization, like people were interested in Sat, in modern civilization, people are interested in Asat.
Okay, that is there. Maybe I should put it. Yeah, some other thing was mentioned. Of course, that Sat Asat is going on throughout the lecture, but something more was there. He quoted something about Vyasdev and one more personality. Yes.
In Vedic civilization, people were like prosperity was seen by jewels and
No. That is also later. Okay, I'll. Okay, there. No, you spoke already.
Was Prabhupada was telling about Chanakya Pandit. He was a prime minister, but still he used to live in cottage. He was so humble. That's the difference.
And what was Vyasdev doing also?
Vyasdev also was living very, very humbly.
Rebo. He was such a big scholar, but lived very humbly, and similarly Chanakya Pandit. So this is Vedic civilization. So the living entities who are living 10 billion years are better than living entities living for 10 minutes. Explain. Of course, it's a. What did Prabhupada say on it? Yes, Prabhu, behind.
No one entity is better, either living 10 minutes or 10 seconds or 10 billion years. That is Asat.
River. So I gave a twist to the question and Prabhu detected. So what did Krishna tell Arjun to prove that soul is permanent and body is temporary? He gave one practical life situation example. There.
Just like we change clothes every day, the spirit has also sometimes to change the body.
He told that? Of course, Krishna has told that. Krishna has said that, but here what he was telling one example which Krishna quotes in the Bhagavad Gita.
That I don't know.
Okay. Here. Vaishnav Sharan.
Krishna said that we existed many years ago. So then if many years ago body was not there, that means soul was there. Soul is existing always.
We means you, me, Krishna, and the kings, all of them exist. Haribo. So one important question I forgot to ask. So what did Srila Prabhupada share about material opulence? What does it mean and what does it not mean? Okay, here, Mithu.
He was giving the example of Red Fort and the birds over there. And he was, in that context, he was telling like material opulence does not mean tin car and plastic plates and buckets and all those things, but gold, silver, jewelries. And he was giving example how in Vedic time everything was gold, like eyes and all. But it is
Rivo. One more important principle he shared was that material opulence is whatever is gotten from nature, not by industry. Very important principle. So going back down, so sorry. So we can't understand all these things about the mission of human life and sorry. Here we are. So he quoted then Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur he says, Satsang chadi kainu asati vilas te karana lage the mora karma bandha phas. How he explained karma bandha phas with some analogy.
Prabhupada said sometimes the threads get entangled and you try to remove it, but sometimes it's very difficult to remove, it gets spoiled. So karma is the contanglement of karma.
Rivo. So on account of our attachment to this material body, we are becoming entangled. And then Srila Prabhupada talked about Satsang. So how he explained Satsang? What is Satsang?
Prabhupada was telling that Satsanga means, like he was telling that like how we are sitting here. So we are not having any other business other than soul, Krishna, relationship with the Lord. So all that only we discuss. So that is what is satsanga.
Haribo. He also gave the example of pig-out manner becoming Bhaktivedanta manner. Earlier for sense gratification, now for Krishna seva. Yes. So what is the meaning of Yasmat Shuddhyat Sattvam? He gave the meaning and an analogy also to just explain that. Yasmat Shuddhyat Sattvam. Because meaning should be easy, and then what practical analogy he gave to help us. Okay. Gopalbu is like all up.
Sattvam, here he tells that Sattvam means pure. Sattvam means exists. Sat, we are talking about a Sat and Asat. That Sattvam is again existing. And what was another? Suddhyat Yasmat. Suddhyat means becoming pure. So Prabhupada gives the example of if somebody is contaminated because of the disease, then he takes treatment. The treatment makes him purified.
Ribo. Then Prabhupada told 3 types of contamination. So, what is Brahmanical contamination? I think some new hand should be there for that. No, Brahmanical. Okay, here, Jagdish Mundu.
Brahmana may think that he knows scriptures, he is very learned, he is very clean, and this is subtly he thinking that because of all these things, I am very pure and everything. This is subtle contamination.
Ribo. He does not try to get out from this matter. So of course, after that, Prabhupada, just in the interest of time, I am trying to make it short. Prabhupada told about passionate thing. I am so rich, I am so powerful, I have got so many business, bank balance, family, wife. All this is mode of passion. And ignorance, lazy, sleepy, unclean. All this is. Yeah. So then Prabhupada said, sleeping as Shunyavad. How is sleeping Shunyavad? This is what do modern fellows do? Yes, true.
Because people want to sleep 34 hours out of 24 hours.
Rivo. He also said that they want to sleep up to 2 o'clock. Actually, we should sleep up to 2 o'clock or morning 2 o'clock. But they sleep up till afternoon 2 o'clock. So they want to make everything zero. So that is why it is Shunya. Yes. Huh? Inactive. But life means activity. What did Lord Chaitanya prescribe as activity? Life is activity. Okay. Yes, here, new hand.
Kirtaniya Sadahari, chanting Hare Krishna every time.
Rivo. So I'll just summarize it further. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told like this, and then not active, not for sense gratification, but for Krishna Seva. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, the 9-fold principles of devotional service. And if someone is simply having business, nice office, but no Krishna consciousness, it's Shama eva hi kevalam, simply wasting time, laboring hard. That way, life is spoiled. So aim for Amritatva. And then Prabhupada was mentioning about para and apara. So he told Kirtana is very important. Kirtana deva Krishna se. And para means actually the real life, the eternal life, spiritual life. And apara is the inferior one. So then Prabhupada is quoting about tattvataha. So many quotes he gave, many verses he quoted about tattvataha. And then he said tattvataha is a very important word. That means absolute truth. That means truth. So Vyasdev, although he is writing, but he is quoting Shri Bhagavan Vacha versus people today. They say, I think, but what is the use of your, what is the value of your thinking? So quote an authority. Even Krishna is quoting authority, Tattva Darshivi, despite he himself being authority. So The last word of Tattva is Bhagwan. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.